Is it too early to get excited about the 2024 NFL draft, even though we just got done with the 2023 draft? Oh, yes, we can. And I'm going to tell you exactly why right after this. Let's go. Drop an SDS in the chat, smash that like button. Let's cook. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. What is going down, squad? I apologize. We are back in the McDonald's Wi-Fi era when it comes to getting these shows started. Just be aware that we'll probably be maybe 3 to 4 minutes late. But hey, shout out to all the SDS for sticking around. Not only through the McDonald's Wi-Fi days, if you do remember that, and you remember back when I was in the garage throwing it back. We were in the garage. We had McDonald's Wi-Fi, and you could hear my neighbor's goats. Um, it was quite the experience back in the day. But shout out to all you guys for tapping in. What's good to the SDS day 2 gluten gang? We see you guys. What's good to the squad? I asked the question earlier. Is it too early to get excited about the 2024 NFL draft? And, I think a lot of people have already just put this draft behind us where we got players at the facility right now getting ready for OTAs. Then we're getting camp. We got an entire season to play. But can we get excited about the 2024 NFL draft? And the answer is yes, we can. And I'm going to show you exactly why. Uh, as we know and we've discussed many a time, the San Francisco 49ers are comp pick wizards. Shanny just waves his little wand, skippity doo, liddity doo, waves it, comp picks come out of nowhere. Um, so the reason why we were able to come away with, hey, Jake Moody, Cameron Latu, and able to trade up into the third and things like that is because the San Francisco 49ers had recouped comp picks for general managers, coaches, and players leaving in free agency. And really, we understand what it is. 49ers traded a second, third, fourth. They traded a lot to get Christian McCaffrey. So that went a lot of the capital as well in the 2023 draft. But as we take a look ahead to the 2024 and why I'm sitting here May 9th, like a week or two removed from the NFL draft, starting to get excited about the 2024 draft is because, again, this magic formula that the San Francisco 49ers have seemingly nailed down in regards to recouping comp picks. But not only do we get the comp picks back, not only, drum roll please, we have first and second and third rounders that aren't a part of this comp pick formula. Shout out to David Lombardi for posting the projected draft picks for the San Francisco 49ers in 2024. Look at that list. That is a healthy list of draft picks. I'm not going to lie, it gets me excited. It's been a couple years since we've seen that number one in regards to round one. Now, we know the San Francisco 49ers are going to be good. They're going to be competitive. They damn well better be in the playoffs. And if that's the case, that number one is going to be a late one, but nonetheless, talent will always be there, especially in the late first. If the San Francisco 49ers get into the playoffs, make it all the way to the promised land as the goal is every single year, I don't care if it's number pick 32. In fact, I want it to be pick 32. So if the San Francisco 49ers, man, regardless, they're back in the game. They're back. We're back, baby. You know? And I'm starting to think that maybe this is what's been missing, because as you guys know, I love the NFL draft. I love everything leading up into it, and this year was probably the most meh that I had going into this. And again, I'm going to blame a lot of that on the way the NFC Championship game ended, but not, regardless, I'm feeling, again, it's May 9th, 2023. And I'm excited about this. I'm excited to see what the San Francisco 49ers can do with this, because multiple things are at play here. Obviously, we see the first, second, and third. We think we got 3/3. Comp pick from Mike McGlinchey, a comp pick for Rand Carthon. If the 49ers, from my understanding of how the comp pick formula works, you don't see Jimmy Garoppolo's name anywhere on here, because I think Jimmy Garoppolo and Javon Hargrave, the 49ers signed Javon Hargrave, and because Jimmy Garoppolo signed with the Raiders for the big time dollar amount that he did, those two like cross each other out. So there's a formula that goes into this of whether it's players, general managers, or coaches getting hired. There's a rhyme and reason to it all. So the 49ers will likely get a comp pick third for Mike McGlinchey because of how much he signed for. So even though the 49ers let Mike McGlinchey go in free agency, it won't be for nothing. They'll be able to recoup a third. They'll get a comp third for Mike McGlinchey. They will get a comp third for Rand Carthon being hired as the general manager for the Titans. So in the first 3 rounds, the San Francisco 49ers are looking at 5 picks. That is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. But we know where the San Francisco 49ers do their damage. They do their work in the later rounds, just like they did this year. They did their work in the later rounds. They had phenomenal picks with the Jair Brown pick, home run, I think. Also shout out to Jason Aponte. I don't know if you guys had a chance yet to go watch the interview that he did with Jair Brown, but shout out to that man for getting like 14 sound bites out of a 5-minute interview. Is a thing of beauty. And it just got me more excited for Jair Brown, because you get to listen in a little bit about his mentality, what he is, who he is. It's hard not to be excited about Jair Brown. You could take a look at either Jason's channel as well, and then I posted a longer form video that included some sound bites, but also some workout videos. So you can go ingest all the 49ers content you want. Stop by Aponte's channel first to watch the full interview. It's worth a watch. But it got me even more hyped on the Jair Brown pick. But the San Francisco 49ers, they're going to get a comp pick for Samson Ebukam, Jimmy Ward, and Emmanuel Mosley. So they're cooking, man. I mean, you're talking about 4 6-round draft picks. They traded a fifth. The reason why they don't have a regular fifth is because that fifth was a part of the deal with Christian McCaffrey. So they get that, but they get that pick back via the comp pick formula. So yes, looking at the draft, looking at the potential prospects that the San Francisco 49ers could get is phenomenal. I mean, we got our head sourdough scout already putting in the work. Justin says we got to keep an eye on Missouri cornerback Enos Rakestraw next season. Curious to see when he'll go. He looks like a dog. Yes, I'm excited, and I'm gonna need Justin working some overtime as the head of sourdough scouting, because as you can see, Justin, we're going to be busy next year at the NFL draft. That's a lot. That's a lot of players that the San Francisco 49ers can go after. And I know you're going to have your eye on a lot of those guys. So we already got our first name, Missouri cornerback Enos Rakestraw. I mean, talk about top tier name right off the get. So definitely excited to see who Justin has his eyes on because my man is picking good ones. So definitely looking forward to that. But there's another aspect to this list that can further help the San Francisco 49ers in 2023, not just 2024, because, right, we're through the draft. These are 2024 picks. But let's say someone becomes available or uh, you know, someone hits the trade block, or a team doesn't see a future with X player, and the San Francisco 49ers happen to have a need, an injury happens, something. There's plenty of ammunition here for the San Francisco 49ers to go get someone like a Christian McCaffrey if they see the fit or the need, right? If they were to go get Christian McCaffrey with this haul, they would give up a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth round in next year's draft. They would still have a first. They would still have two thirds. They would still have you know what I mean? So if that's what it takes to go get Christian McCaffrey, the San Francisco 49ers have ammunition if they want to go add someone from another team. It's been discussed, maybe a Chase Young. It would be kind of like grabbing a rental player, but right on time. Uh, it would be like grabbing a rental player, so you could probably get him at somewhat of a value because that paycheck is coming. So you could probably get him for, I would say, a prorated rate, but that's kind of what the 49ers have the option to do. It just gives them so many different avenues to turn. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the 49ers navigate this, but they finally got those assets back. Uh, and I'm looking forward to it. Uh, I can't wait. Yes, they got to pay Bosa, and I imagine we will find out that Nick Bosa will be getting his league-breaking contract extension somewhere around training camp. So we are going to find out um, how much that is. My prediction for the Nick Bosa contract is, at least on an average year basis, I think he's going to get upwards of $33 million a year on average. So we're talking quarterback money. We're talking big time dollars for Nick Bosa. I think it's he's worth it. Write him the check. Write him the check. Um, I do think it's interesting to have these types of conversations because would the 49ers have come out in a better spot if they were to extend Nick Bosa last year? Like, what if they were to extend Nick Bosa last year before he became Defensive Player of the Year? I wonder if they would have got a better rate on Nick Bosa. It's something to think about because this is typically how they do their extensions. They push it all the way to the end. So when we look at Brandon Ayuk's going to play this year on about $4 million. Then he's going to play in 2014 on a $14 million fifth year, with his fifth year being picked up. And then they would likely determine what that extension looks like maybe leading up to that year. I don't not quite sure on the timing what it's going to look like for the Ayuk potential extension, but it is just a question. Like if they maybe got ahead of it, does that change the amount? But does that put that at more risk for signing someone early, maybe getting an injury? I don't know. I think it's interesting to see what the differences would be, but I do know the San Francisco 49ers like to wait a little bit when it comes to contract extensions. So, but Nick Bosa is going to get paid this year, and definitely looking forward to that. The San Francisco 49ers also, too, NFL research dropped their strength of schedule. So the not the NFL 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers are heading into this season with the 15th toughest schedule according to NFL research. So this is what the strength of schedule looks like across the league. Philadelphia Eagles are at the top, apparently, with the toughest schedule. Miami Dolphins with the second toughest. Giants, Patriots, Dallas all tied for third. Um, Interesting thing about those top five is three of them have to play the San Francisco 49ers. Coincidence? I think not. You look at the Commanders, they got to play the 49ers. Rams got to play the 49ers twice. Arizona have to play the 49ers twice. And Seattle has got to play the 49ers twice. So I don't think there's any coincidence that all the teams with the toughest schedule all pretty much have to play the San Francisco 49ers. So, and again, so much changes. Um, you know, I think in regards to strength of schedule, because I do think it's determined on win percentage, and things like that, which from the previous year, which will obviously change with lots of roster turnover and changes overall, but we'll see. 49ers throwback says, who's your top team opponent you want to play? Give me the Cowboys on prime time Sunday night or Monday Night Football. I think if I had to pick, man, I still have an extremely sour taste from that experience being in Philadelphia and watching that game unfold in front of my eyes. And you know, sitting in a sea of Eagles fans, watching all the Eagles fans flipping off the 49ers as they're running into the tunnel at halftime. Um, you know, of course, Dallas is always going to be a phenomenal matchup, but for me, I need that Philly rematch, man. I need that Philly rematch. I need a healthy quarterback. I want full strength versus full strength. And then I want to see what all that talk is about. Then I want to see what they got to say after that, because my goodness, I've never seen a fan base ride a W so hard after a team had no quarterbacks. But are we shocked? No, we aren't shocked at all, because that's what Philly fans are. Um, they root for birds. But anyways, that's the one that I'm looking forward to. I want to see that one. I would have loved to see Philly come to the 49ers. But it is a little bit poetic that they got to go back to Philly. And what is going to be crazy about that particular game at Philly is I think the fan base is the Philly fan base is going to be crazier. Like bro, I was there. Um Joey Bosa was getting crushed. Not Nick. Joey, Joey Bosa, who, like, when they're doing the pregame warm-ups, I'm right there, and you have Joey Bosa wearing all Niners gear. Shout out to Joey Bosa, of course, the brother of Nick Bosa, Chargers defensive end. Um, he's on the sideline, and for literally 15, 20 minutes straight, just getting screamed at by Philadelphia Eagles fans, cussing at him, telling him he's trash, all just over. And, like, again, this is Joey Bosa. Dude's not even playing. He's there to support his brother, but the Philly fans just they saw him, they target him, and then they just spewed hate at him. Now, I will say this, at least around some of the Eagles fans that I was with, they wanted to talk trash about Jerry Rice because Jerry Rice was right there too, flexing all his rings. But I did hear a couple times they're like, that's Jerry Rice. We can't hate on Jerry Rice. I was like, okay. All right. Okay. Maybe you're not so bad, but still being around those Eagles fans, man, they're crazy. And I imagine it's going to be on 100 this year when the San Francisco 49ers show up. I wouldn't be surprised if they start throwing things at 49ers fans, or not 49ers fans, throw things at 49ers players when they're coming onto the field. I expect Philly to show absolutely zero love for the 49ers. So it's a tough one, man. A part of me wants to go to that game just to 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 hopefully be there for a W, but also I'm like, man, going from Cali to Philly, going that's a tough. I mean, that was a tough trip. That was a tough trip. Um, being 3 hours ahead. Uh, Part of me wants to go for sure to just be there when it happens, but also part of me is like, damn, that was a lot of travel. so, so we'll see. I'm definitely trying to get out to a couple away games. Haven't decided. That's why I'm excited for this Thursday. The NFL schedule is going to drop, and when the NFL schedule drops, I'm gonna start mapping. I'm gonna be like, can I go to this game? Is this game gonna fit into the schedule? Can we make this work? Can we make that work? Uh, definitely, definitely going to be mapping out which games I'm gonna go to. Do any of you guys here in the chat have an idea? Are you going to be traveling to any games? Are you maybe also too? I know we got a lot of fans that are national, global, all over the place. Is anyone traveling to Levi's? Um, I know it's expected, like, oh, you could just hop on over to Levi's, but not everyone lives in California that are 49ers fans. So is anyone traveling to Levi's to watch a game? Um, Anyone going to away games? It's going to be interesting. Boomer says I'm going to Seattle again. That was a good game. That was a good game to go to. Not gonna lie. That was actually my first ever road trip this year. When I took my son to Seattle on for Thursday night football in prime time, and got to watch the San Francisco 49ers clinch the division. Uh, that was a great experience. I would definitely recommend going to a Seattle game for sure. The 49ers kept them quiet for the majority of it. So, but you could hear at the beginning, like, you're like, oh, I could definitely see how this place gets crazy. San Francisco 49ers were in the lead for the most of it, and they really took the crowd out of it early. But you heard glimpses where you're like, all right, this stadium's loud for sure. But definitely a good one. Justin says I'll be making the trek to Levi's with wifey at least a couple times. Let's go. Definitely got a link for sure. Ebony says I'm traveling to Levi's for the Ravens game. I live in LA, so I'll be there to crush the Rams again. I got to get to Levi's South. That is something that I need to do. I need to get to Levi's South for show, for show. I'm trying to get. I'm trying to go to Levi's South. I need to experience that for sure. So probably gonna go to, and it's close, so definitely could make that one. Let's see. And the food in Seattle was underrated, Brad. The food was phenomenal. I don't think I had a bad meal. I'm big. I'm big, but I'm also big on finding like local food spots when I travel and not go I don't go to fast food. I literally won't eat at a place that I can eat at home. Like my son was like, "Let's go to Chick-fil-A." And I was like, "Absolutely not. We're not going to Chick-fil-A when we can get that at home." And so what we did was we found it's actually like this bar. We found this bar, but it was also a restaurant. Um, just kind of random, but the chicken sandwiches were so good. So we want a chicken sandwich. All right, we're gonna go get the real deal. See what Seattle had to offer, and they did not disappoint. They did not disappoint uh, at all. Anthony says, Brad, what fans are worse, Seahawks or Eagles? See, with the Seahawks, like they really don't mess with you at all. And the ones that did chirp me, it was like playful, good trash talk. You know what I mean? Like it was witty, it was playful. They would chirp you, but it was just like it was fine. You go to the Eagles, like they are aggressive. It's just what Eagles are just aggressive human beings. But hey, man, if I lived in Philadelphia, I'd probably be aggressive too. Um, but it's nuts. Definitely Seattle was more welcoming. Really didn't have to worry too much about anything in Seattle. Philly, I had to keep my head on a swivel, boy. I've told you about like how I caught the train. Like the train was a great form of transportation because it took me like 5 minutes to get from downtown Philly to the stadium. But when I tell you, like I was one of the last people to get on the train, and I was running to make sure I got in before the doors closed. And right as I hop in, doors close behind me. It is jam packed wall to wall, and every single person turns and looks at me as I run in. And I look, and there's not one thing of red, not one. It is a train car with probably 200 people, jam packed, full of drunk Philly fans. And I come walking in, and I'm like, oh, it's like, well, this is awkward. And then the trash talking began almost instantly. But thankfully, I actually had a very vocal group around me that was talking a lot of trash, but they respected the back and forth, and so we went from foes to friends pretty quickly. But yeah, man, Um, I'm excited to get back onto the road this year. So I would say if this is my tip. This is my tip for you. If you want to go to this Philly game, which I think you should go. It's going to be a good game, but to ensure you don't run into any problems, don't wear I I know it might sound a little whatever, but don't go decked out in red. Like, wear a Niners hat, but wear a black Niners hat. Wear a Niners shirt, wear a black Niners shirt. Literally, these fans see red and they are like they get crazy. So my biggest thing, if you really just want to go and enjoy the game and not have to deal with crazy amounts of heckling, just wear neutral. Just wear neutral. I had to do my Cron 4 interview at the end, so I had this was my hat that I was wearing. I was wearing this hat, I had this pin, I had a red button up, I had a black pea coat, I was wearing jeans, I had my nice boots on, um, but really barely anyone like noticed me. I still had my Niners stuff on. I was wearing a red button down and this hat, but no one really messed with me. It was like, if you watched like Bonte Hill or Joe Shasky, I mean they showed up decked out. They got it. They got it good. So that would and I even had them they said this to me personally. They're like, "We respect that you're low key." They're like, "We respect that you're low key." The guys that I like ran into like in that drunken train sardine scenario. They were just like, "Man, you're not here like flaunting it in our face. Like you're wearing Niner gear, but you're low key." They're like, "We actually respect that." I was like, okay, well, there's a note. If you want to go to Philly and you want to watch the game and not get absolutely heckled to death by Eagles fans, just go more neutral Niners gear than showing up in that red. They see that red, they're gonna go crazy. You're an easy target too. Like anywhere in the stadium, you're wearing all red, you're gonna blend in because everyone's wearing black and green. And so you stand crazy. Oh, I think that's the only stadium that like I would seriously walk into where I'm like, all right, I got to be on my game. Other than that, I wouldn't care at all. But Philly, they're different. Uh, what 49ers player do I miss the most? Ooh, like ever, like all time. That's a good question. I have a lot of answers for that one. But one of my guys that comes to mind is one of my first he I think he was. I think Ayupati was my first offensive line draft crush. Um I was so upset when the 49ers didn't re-sign Ayupati. I was beside myself. Um, Patrick Willis is a good one. I definitely miss P. Willie out there balling. Because that was just a brutal, not expecting that situation. Like I have, I've got his jersey somewhere. I don't. Is it hanging up? I think it's somewhere. I got Pat's jersey over here somewhere. It was the first jersey that I purchased, and it was like a thought out purchase. Like this was back when I was in college. I had no money. I saved up money, and I was like, I'm gonna buy, like I'm gonna buy my own 49ers jersey. I'm going to buy my first 49ers jersey with my hard-earned money. And at that point, I understood what the NFL was. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to buy the first jersey I'm going to buy is going to be someone that I think is going to be on the Niners for a long time. So it was like Joe Staley. I seriously contemplated Joe Staley, but it was like Frank Gore. It was Patrick Willis. Frank Gore, I knew was at the tail end. So I was like, Frank Gore's a legend, but I want someone I could rock right now. So I bought Patrick Willis. And then the next year, he retired on me. I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. Like, I put so much thought and effort into whose jersey I was going to purchase with the thought process in mind that they were going to be on the team for a while. And of course, the guy that I purchased retired on me. And no ill will to Patrick Willis. I mean, friend of the program. We've interviewed Patrick Willis here. I love P. Willie still to this day. But I always found that correlation interesting. So I don't know. Maybe it's a jinx. Maybe I'm a jinx out here. No, I'm not. I ain't gonna put that energy on me. Um, let's see. 49ers players I miss the most. Who else? I miss Justin Smith. I It was so much fun that year that Justin Smith and Olden Smith were going crazy. I really loved having Justin Smith. He was so much fun to have on the squad. Um, like Justin Smith, I loved Justin Smith. I did miss Gold. I loved Goldson. Crabtree, I'm not gonna lie, man. I was always like meh about Crabtree until he left. And then when he left, I was like, yeah, I really don't like Crabtree. Man, when Crabtree went to the Raiders, got his chain snatched, I was like, oh, ugh, gross. Um, Defoe, Miss Defoe. Yeah, Defoe's a good one. Uh, who else? Who else was someone that I miss rocking red and gold? I miss Joe Staley. I'm not gonna lie. Like, obviously, I love Trent Williams. Trent Williams is one of my all-time favorite players, but I miss having that personality, like that type of electric personality on the squad. I miss Joe Staley. I miss Joe. I miss the Joe show. Miss the shenanigans. Um Joe was great, man. Joe was legendary. Uh really, really legendary. Deion Sanders, I was 6 years old when Dion played on the 49ers. So, you know, I really can't say I missed him because I was too young to be up in it at that point. I like knew who the quarterbacks were. I knew who Jerry Rice was. Uh, I get Luke Combs a lot, and I see it for sure. We have the same gingery beard, uh, kind of bigger guys. So yeah, I definitely see the Luke Combs comp for sure. Uh, but yeah, man, I really am excited for the draft already. Is it ever too soon to be excited for the draft? I'm excited for 2024 draft. I'm excited to get the schedule on Thursday. We got players at practice. It's in pat. It's in not in pads. It's in just jerseys, not even helmets yet. So, but we got guys on fields. We got guys on the field. Rookie mini camp is this Friday, I believe. So we're going to be able to get our first look at some of these rookies. Um, uh, are you talking about Quentin Patton? You talking about QP? 49ers legend QP? If that's what you're talking about. I love Quentin Patton. I thought I thought he could have been really good in this league. Just never got the never got the opportunity. But it's a good time. It's a good time. Nothing to really stress about. I'm over stressing about the quarterback. Sounds like Brock Purdy is on track. Trey Lance, Sam Darnold getting at it. Um, oh, the viral kid. I didn't know he had a number already. Um, Winfield. Am I saying his name right? Isaiah Winstead, not Winfield. Winstead, Isaiah Winstead. But which player from minicamp? Of course, want to see Jair Brown. The number one player that I'm looking out for is Jake Moody. No, I'm really interested in Beal, Winters. I mean, honestly, I'm interested in all. Like Willis and Latu are very intriguing to me. Winters and Beal are also intriguing. Luter, with his size and speed, very intrigued by him at cornerback. Uh, the linebacker competition got ramped up with the 49ers drafting two linebackers. Um, I'm really interested to see what Braden Willis and Cameron Latu look like on the same field. Like I want to see those two next to each other, and I want to see what they look like next to each other. One being a third rounder, one being a seventh rounder. The 49ers were extremely high on Braden Willis, but they got him at such a late and great value. Um, I'm excited to see what those two look like next to each other and just kind of see all that. See all that. But I think guys like I'm interested in seeing like I'm really excited to see like second year players that maybe were undrafted or late round draft picks. Um I'm excited to see Tay Martin. I want to see what Tay Martin looks like this year. I feel like Tay Martin has an opportunity to come out and surprise us. I think he has the talent, but I think now you take away that rookie situation of being undrafted. He knows what the expectation is heading into training camp. He knows what the expectation is heading into OTAs. I'm intrigued by Tay Martin. That's a guy that again, I think we talk about we'll do a bigger show to kind of just talk about camp battles that we're going to be looking at because I think there's going to be a ton and we can analyze those very deeply. But wide receiver is going to be crazy, linebacker is going to be crazy. Um, it's going to be intense at a couple positions. You know, I think running the fourth guy on the running back is yet again going to be in a competition. Tight ends, 49ers, you look at it, we got a kicker competition. They developed competition at every position. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing. Now, obviously, I'm more waiting for training camp for the offensive lineman because it's just so hard to really evaluate these guys without pads. I'm going to talk about this all the way leading up until training camp. It's really hard for me to, and I really think it's hard for anyone to get a true evaluation on an offensive lineman if they're not in like full speed and pads because it's just not the same. You use so much of your head, your body, and just so much goes into grabbing and punching and all that different stuff that when you don't have pads, it's really difficult. Like you can get an idea of technique, like footwork, foot speed, base, balance. Like you can figure that stuff out. But when we're talking contact balance, we're talking the ability to like really reach block somebody. Um, can you really double to backer? You need some pads. So I really hold off on O-line evaluations if they're not in pads because it's like it's not full speed. It's just not the same. It's just not the same. So uh although I am looking forward to Joey Fisher, I'm looking forward to Joey Fisher in training camp for sure. Do you feel the hype around Luter Jr. is truly pro ready? I mean, I think his traits are exciting. I think the size that he has, the speed that he runs, the length and the agility that he has, I think that makes his frame and his body like it. He looks like a guy that would translate. He looks like a guy whose skill set would translate to the NFL, but that's the thing, is like there's a lot of guys who look like that. We really have to see it. He does have that capability. I mean, I think this is a Steve Wilkes guy. I think Steve Wilkes really liked Luter and what Luter brings to the table in regards to his size and his movement abilities. And I mean, the 49ers have always liked big, long, rangy corners. And there was a couple other guys on the board. They chose to go with Luter. They had him in on a top 30 visit, clearly liking Luter. Um, and I think that starts with Steve Wilkes. So time will always tell, but he does look like he could be a guy that could definitely fit in to all that. What do I think about the prospect of Niners putting Kalia Davis next to Hargrave? Bro, you know I'm on that hype. You know I'm on that hype. Um, I like how I brought it up. I was like rewatching, like I was clipping some of the Demetrius Flanagan Fowles interview just to get some clips out of it. And it was funny because when I brought it up, I didn't ask I didn't ask Flan directly, like, is Eric gonna play edge? I just said it looks like he's gonna play edge, and he's like, that's above my pay grade. I know nothing. I was like, okay. It's like, all right. But yeah, man, I still got an itch that you got. Well, it's not only Kalia, it's it's from what we keep hearing, a healthy Javon Kinlaw. You get healthy Javon Kinlaw, Kevin Givens, McGill. They just brought in that former second round defensive tackle. So their D line depth, and of course you have Javon Hargrave who anchors the whole thing. So their defensive line on the interior is pretty stacked, but edge we have some questions on. So I do see this. I got my eye on it. We'll see. We'll see if my off-season projection comes true. I don't know if it will, but we shall see if we get more Eric Armstead at edge. Because again, I'm seeing more pictures of the guy. He is leaned out. But either way, 49ers are going to be ready to go. The roster is, man, I mean, I feel like we talk about it every year, but it feels like this could be just gets deeper and deeper, man. The roster, it continues to they just add more depth and continued depth. It's wild. It's gonna be fireworks per usual. The 49ers are the content gift that keeps on giving, whether we think we have nothing to talk about or we squirrel. Okay, I thought I saw something. But anyways, 49ers football always keeps us talking. What's tomorrow? What's on this week? We have the Wednesday is the Dwight Clark Foundation thing. I don't really know. I know the 49ers are advertising it like crazy. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it's like replacing the state of the franchise or if it's more just a Fred Warner's getting this Dwight Clark award. I should probably know more about it. But that's tomorrow, so it's going to be interesting to see what comes of that. Also, the 49ers and Shoe Palace are going to be having a kickball fundraiser. So those tickets are going to be going live at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to grab a ticket to go watch 49ers players versus the San Jose Police Department in a kickball tournament, it should be a fun event. That's going to be May 21st, I believe. So those tickets will be going on sale. I'm going to post a link in my story. So keep an eye out for that. And then we got mini camp on Friday. I got a player interview on Thursday. Schedule release Thursday. It's going to be a lot of stuff this week. So stay tuned. And shout out to everyone who's tapped in per usual. Smash that like button on your way out. And as always, appreciate all you guys for tapping in. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it.